I'm gonna tie what I consider my standard crappie jig, and I'm also gonna talk to you guys about why I think you should buy an old sailboat and just park it in the marina, and you will have a fishing place, a place to cook. You could sleep over. They usually have clean bathrooms nearby. We just went to a s'mores event where they made s'mores with kids. And for $3,000 a year in an urban area, like I'm, 15 miles from Dallas, that's a bargain. So here's a jig. This is an 1/8 ounce lead head jig, nude. It isn't colored yet. And they usually have a barb right there, and I just squashed it with a pair of needle nose, right? It just catches when you're wrapping. And I've got my strong thread already tied in just behind where the lead is. And I'm going to wrap a little bit like this. And the first thing you're going to put in, right, is this is a saddle hackle, right? And it's got a lot of fuzzies on the end here and a stiff stem, right? It's going to be a little problematic maybe, but heck, fuzzy, buggy, who knows? But I'm going to take and kind of just stroke back here, right? Give myself, that's like 2 inches. But what we're going to do here is we're going to make a little tail. And that looks a little long, so I'll just come up to another spot and stroke it. And remember, this thing is going to ride the other way. So you're tying it upside down. And just lay that feather in and just bring it back like this. Just even wraps. You're not worried about much. And you have a decision here if you want to go underneath the tail. I usually do. I usually like to lock the tail down and then take a couple of strokes. And so there it is. It's hanging back there. Now, you're going to end up palmering, right? So just orient the feather so it's back like this. And wrap that back up to where you started. And back down. Don't worry about trapping fuzzies or anything like that. All right, now, I have this material I buy at Hobby Lobby. It's a white cord, but it's got crystal flash in it. It's pretty. And I do a simple kind of little trick with it. So the first thing I'm going to do, and remember, you want to build a little bit of a body on this thing. So me going back and forth as I tie things down just helps do that. So I'm going to lay that cord right on top. And I can't remember the name of it. It's, in the necklace making area or something. But I'm going to lock it down, hold it straight back, right, right about where the barb is. And I'm just going to wrap this. And obviously, because you've got such a large piece of cord, right, it's easy to wrap. You don't need a rotary vise, and I don't have one here. I have an old Thompson A vise, and so you wrap that in, and just come, and it's going to be, you're going to have these grooves. Now I cut this thing just short enough, right, to get to the head. That's what I needed. I probably should have had a little slack or whatever that I could knit, but it's a perfect fit. Okay, so this is palmering, all right? You just wrap it around, and these big floppy saddle hackles, they're pretty tough. You can spin it just to get those fibers right, pointing backward. It's just a lot easier to do. When you get up to the corded stuff, you're just going to feel your way in. Just kind of wiggle it in. It'll find a groove. And now, see, I'm getting to the fuzzies, which is okay with me. And wherever that takes you, wherever you can lock that down, just lock it down. You're going to have a feather and a nub of the cord, right, that you're going to have to clip. There we go. And you can see that's a really fuzzy, pulsing kind of fly. Well, jig. And so, just a quick whip finish. And I'm using really bright red thread. So on the neck of this thing, there'll be this red band. And that seems to be really popular with the crappie. And so I'll put 5 good turns in there. Clip it. And again, I hope you can appreciate how fuzzy that is. And I just take, and I haven't opened this in a long time, and so it might be harder to, no, I can get it open. My wife just throws out this nail polish, right? I got kind of a tinsley red here, but this will be a duller kind of oxblood color. And I just leave it in the vise and paint it. And it's okay to paint into that red band because that's just like putting head cement on. You want to avoid the eye as much as you can, but just sit there and let that dry. And that's a really popular color. The redhead and the sort of chartreuse. It's not exactly chartreuse, but again, that's kind of what they're after when they sell you this saddle hackle. This is cheap. Where are the jig heads? Well, you've seen a box of jig heads. And I've got other colors of feathers. But what you can do with that cord is you can come in with a black pen. And remember, it's the underside of this thing, right, that's going to float to the top. And that cord will actually suck up that black felt pen. But it won't mess with the flash that's in it. So, there we go. That gives it that kind of dark top and light bottom. I like it. I hope you do too. Bye-bye.